Sometimes life goes easy, sometimes life goes do 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 do. Piggy piggyback, won't you take me? Piggyback, won't you? Piggy piggyback, won't you?
Is that one of my cigarettes?
Oh, no. No, you're not supposed to. You don't love me anymore, do you? Yes, I do all the time.
No, no.
위 칸은 맨 밑에 칸만 강이 있어서 거기다 이게 예지도 하나 더 사다 줬어. 이거 그때
귀엽다.
이거 신고 있더라.
경찰이 이제 그 방해를 위험하다고 느끼는 데를 가면 제일 안전.
우리 자전거 없어요.
아 그래?
엑세지 먹어 한 잔 마셔.
메리
크리스마스 고맙다. 아이고.
고맙습니다. 너무 맛있겠다. 양식이네 아주.
얼마래? 그냥 이게 끝이야.
근데 진짜 신기하다.
어.
와.
시원하다.
対食べるものですが、
下の方にお砂糖沈んでおりますね。
이것도 반띵해 먹자.
아니야, 너 다 먹어.
그 넣는 거 맞겠지?
맞아.
파를 좀 많이 넣고.
민트야. 그래서 이거 아니면 이거 두 개 중에 하나. 제발.
만족스러워요. 결승에 올라갈 수 있겠구나. 어떤 그 연예인군 재밌더라.
우와.
We'll go to the park, laugh away the blues. People will stare, asking have they lost their minds. And when it gets dark, we'll play our favorite tune. Heart and soul dance under the moon. When my dreams get so hazy and skies become gray, you'll be the one to guide me home. For miles and miles, and sailing through the sea to find you here, standing next to me. So, my love, be my everything. Heart.
そうです。わかりました。一応役所確認を。はい。はいはい。
But that would have never happened had not everyone shown up.
That is like such a momentous, I think, for 2025.
Yeah, thanks.
And so I had a lot of work to do, and Ross, nice guy that he is, offered to help me out. And then we had a little wine, we got to talking, and next thing you know, out of nowhere, Ross comes on to me.
That's a little misleading.
What is
The lie you just told.
that you came on to me?
There's the one.
Just want something stupid and try to figure out what I want. But I'm gonna get it at some point. It's not supposed to work out. Day after tomorrow, I'm having a huge sale. Don't crowd me!
Dangerously dehydrated during the first 6 months of our relationship. Look, for me, the rush is not. Multicolored robes. Maybe a hat.
Because not only is the groom my best friend, but the bride is my little sister. Damn it!
안녕.
그거보다 더 맛있는 것 같은데 진짜.
명란이랑 같이 해서 먹어야 돼.
대박 맛있어.
my constant companion. She skips and jumps when I come home. My little dog is an angel sent from heaven. She comes running down the mountain next to me. My little dog is my constant companion. She skips.
됐다. 자, 이제 둘이서 하나, 둘, 셋 하면 상자 뚜껑을 같이 여는 거야? 아직 기다려. 자. 둘, 셋.
And jumps when I come home. My little dog is an angel sent from heaven. She comes running down the mountain. She comes swimming.